Hi, this is Melanie of Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a film review of Avane Srimannarayana. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do film reviews and trailer reactions of Indian cinema. I've been on a vacation trip in Mexico for the past week. I finally returned, and the first movie that I went to the theater to see was this film, and I was able to see it in Canada in the original. In Chicago, at least this, after it's been out a week, it was only playing in 2 theaters. It was only showing in Telugu and Kannada. I've seen Rakshit Shetty's Kirik Party, and I really enjoyed that, especially the music. And the trailer to this film was insanely fun. I could definitely tell that Rakshit Shetty and the director Sachin Ravi were very influenced by Quentin Tarantino, because it's described as a fantasy action film. It's set in an imaginary town. It has so many elements of Western movies. There's even a Mexican standoff where you have different people all pointing guns at each other at the same time, and they're at an impasse, which is a trademark of Quentin Tarantino films. Seems like there's always a Mexican standoff. The whole, walking into a saloon and the whole thing. There's even a bunch of sort of cowboy characters. There's one character, Cowboy Krishna, Rakshit Shetty, who is a film director, and evidently they're working on a sequel with his character, because I'm not sure he says one line of dialogue. He just sort of tips his hat to Rakshit Shetty's character a couple of times, but he's the one that owns the saloon and everything. So I think they're planning a sequel, story about him, which I'm all about that. That would be very fun. If you could have seen me in the middle of this movie, especially the first half, I just had this huge smile on my face. It was so much fun. This movie was so much fun. It did drag a little bit in the second half, and oh my god, it's over 3 hours long. I'm not sure that it needs to be that long, and I will admit that the last battle climax scene maybe didn't have, I don't know, like as big an impact on me as I was hoping it would. I'm going to tell you, like the world building and setting up of the characters and all of that in the first half was just awesome. I loved the songs. Rakshit Shetty is a cop who I guess is new to this imaginary town. There's 2 villains, two and one, who are half brothers, and they're all searching for this missing loot. There's clues along the way through the film everyone is trying to find, but especially Rakshit Shetty's character is trying to find this loot. And even in the songs, there will be a little clue, and then you're like, oh, as they find little pieces of information that finally, reveal where the loot is towards the end of the film. So it was like this whole adventure story with Western cowboy elements and villains that live in like big fort castle kind of things. Like it just kind of had everything. But the best thing about it is Rakshit Shetty's character and how he plays it. I saw one review because I was anxious. I couldn't go to see the film because I was out of the country, but I was watching Film Companion and did a review and described his character as like Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, he doesn't act like he's drunk all the time like Johnny Depp did, but I do see some similarities in just kind of this swagger, but also like, oops, kind of things just sort of happen, and he gets caught out in his bluffs, and he just keeps going, and all these crazy things that he does and says, and his attitude and his walk, and just the way he fights, especially, I think, where he's literally swinging from the chandeliers and tripping over, kind of almost doing a dance move off of a top of a chair and all of that. It definitely reminded me some kind of the fight styles that Captain Jack did in the Pirates movies. Oh, just super fun to watch. the fight scenes, because it's not just punches being thrown, it's just all sorts of crazy things happening. And we saw some of that in the trailer that gave us a flavor of what this movie was going to be like. Since I am not as familiar with Kannada cinema, I've only seen a handful of Kannada films, the supporting character actors, I didn't necessarily recognize them. There's a guy that plays sort of Rakshit Shetty's sidekick, Achyut Kumar, whose character's name is the same as the actor, which makes me seem like he must be a famous character actor that plays in a lot of Kannada films. The love interest, Shanvi Srivastava, plays Lakshmi, and she's not there just to be a damsel in distress, I'll tell you that. She is feisty and she has her own agenda. It's not until the very end that she even really looks at Rakshit Shetty's character as a love interest. So that was really different. This was not the kind of movie where we had 5 love songs. No. If anything, there's a love song sort of about Rakshit Shetty's gun, which he calls his sidekick. Hands Up is the name of it. And there's a whole fun song about that. That was kind of different. That's a love story. That's not really what this movie is about. It's all about these villains and the backstory of how the loot got lost and the enmity between the brothers and all of that. Super fun. Like I said, I don't know if it needed to be 3 hours. Maybe could have been tightened up, but I was just having fun going on the ride. I'll tell you, especially the first half was so amazing. I really am glad that you guys all told me to watch the trailer and how great that was. He just has such a presence on screen. He's just so fun to watch. I thought the 2 villains, Balaji Manohar plays Jai Rama, and then there's Pramod Shetty as Tukaram. They were both very good and also had a presence. And then there was Rama, who was played by Madhusudan Rao. He also had this incredible screen presence. The guy playing Jai Rama almost reminded me of Sanjay Dutt. I don't know, just had that ability to just kind of emanate menace, just standing there. I just can't even tell you my favorite parts, because I think the songs, because they just had so much comedy and just all these crazy things happening, but also I really admired the cinematography. I thought the music and the background score were really great, especially just the background score. It just kind of gave you that, set the tone of the movie and how fun it was going to be. Love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for encouraging me to see this film. What was your favorite part of the movie? Love to hear it in the comments. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another trailer reaction or film review.